Inverse relations and functions. So there's a few different ways to find the inverse of a relation or a function. The first way is if they give you a starting function. So they're giving us here f of x equals 3x minus 1. So in order to find the inverse function, you can set it up as y equals 3x minus 1. And then to find the inverse, I'm going to just switch out the x and the y. And then I'm going to solve in terms of y again. So I'm going to add the 1 to the other side. X plus 1 equals 3y. Divide everything by 3. And we're going to be able to rewrite that as y equals 1/3 x plus 1/3. Keeping in mind that there's a 1 in front of the x, so that's where we're getting 1/3 x from. So my inverse function, I'm going to write up here 1/3 x plus 1/3. Now the table should just be the opposite of the function which we originally had, which is going to be, instead of -1, -4, it's -4, -1, -1, 0, and 2, 1. So now we have our inverse function that we found algebraically, and we have our table, which we found by just reversing the coordinates of the original function. Inverse is written with that little exponent to the negative first power, so the inverse function of f of x equals this. And now there's something called the one-to-one property of functions. We know something's a function if it passes the vertical line test, but a one-to-one function is saying that for each x value, there's only one y value and vice versa. So basically every x value matches up to exactly one y value, and in reverse, that's one-to-one. Now, if a function is one-to-one, that means it passes the horizontal line test. So if we were to think of this as on a coordinate plane, and our original function is in pink, the points would be approximately here. This is my function. It passes the horizontal line test because no matter where I draw a horizontal line, it's only hitting the function in one place. Now when I plot my inverse function, that would be -4, -1, -1, 0, and 2, 1. This will again be passing the horizontal line test, so that's also one-to-one. Now obviously if we took the inverse and it was not a function, it might be the inverse of the original function, but it might just be a relation. But in this case, both of these pass the vertical line test. For each input, there's exactly one output. So these are both functions, and they are also both one-to-one.